Hi guys, welcome back to the next episode of Director's Chair. We're looking at Explosive World of Michael Bay, so let's get into it. Welcome back to the next episode of Director's Chair. We're talking about director today, we're talking about Michael Bay. Now before I do it, don't forget to subscribe and click the notification bell, those algorithm. So I'm gonna go through his movies, I'm gonna tell you thought about them. Now before I say this, Michael Bay, he's known for his big budget, high concept action films, cameras by fast going stylistic, cinematography visuals, sensitive use of special effects, including frequent depictions of explosions. Despite his commercials at the box office, Bay's work is generally held in low esteem by film critics. I said like 4 of his movies were positive reviews, but most of his reviews of his movies have been negative. But I'm not talking about the negativity of his movie. I'm going to talk about his movie, so let's get into it. So, 1995, we had The Boys. Now, this was Michael Bay's first movie, and this was a buddy cop action comedy film. And this starred Martin Lawrence, Will Smith, T. Leone, and Chelke Kaya. It received mixed reviews, but it was a box office success. It made around $141.4 million on a $90 million budget. And this one's good. I actually enjoyed this one. So that's Bad Boys. Then 1996 we had The Rock. Now this was an action thriller film, and this starred Sean Connery, Nicolas Cage, Ed Harris, Michael Biehn, and William Forsythe. It made $335.6 million, $75 million budget. It was a financial success, and it became the highest grossing film in 1996. I actually like this one. That was The Rock. And then, so in 1998, we had Armageddon. Now, this was a science fiction disaster film. This starred Bruce Willis, Billy Bob Thornton, Liv Tyler, Ben Affleck, Will Patton, Keith David, Michael Clark Duncan, Pierre Stormare, Steve Buscemi. And this made around $553.7 million on a $140 million budget. It received mixed reviews. It was the highest one from 1998. I'm really trying this film. I don't like this movie. It's so bad. It's terrible. Deep Impact was bad. If you've done a Deep Impact, it was pretty much the same movie, but it came out the same year, and it was much better than this. And yeah. So there's some good parts I like it, but overall, I just don't think it's a good movie. Then Pearl Harbor. In 2001, we had Pearl Harbor. Now this was a romantic war drama film, and it's done. Ben Affleck, Josh Hartnett, Kate Beckinsale, Cuba Gooding Jr., Tom Sizemore, Jon Voight, Colin Farrell, and Alec Baldwin. And it made around $450.2 million on $140 million budget. It received negative reviews. It criticized the story wrong time, screenplay and dialogue, pacing, performance, and historical inaccuracies. Although the visual effects and Hans Zimmer score were played. Now, this was based on the attack on Pearl Harbor in 1941. Yeah, I don't like this movie. It's just this is not a good movie. So that's Pearl Harbor. 2003 we had Bad Boys 2. Now this was a buddy cop action comedy film and a sequel to Bad Boys, in addition to the second film in the Bad Boys film series. It starred Martin Lawrence, Will Smith, Jordi Molla, Gabriel Union, Pierre Stormare, Theresa Randall, and Pantoliano. It made $273.3 million, $130 million budget. It received generally negative reviews, and I actually like this movie. Now there was a sequel called Bad Boys for Life. That was not that. That one was not directed by Michael Bay, and we were going to get a Bad Boys 4 that will also not be directed by Michael Bay. And this one's okay. It's not as good as the first one, so it's Bad Boys 2. Then 2005, we had The Island. Now, this was a dystopian science fiction action thriller film, and this starred Ewan McGregor, Scarlett Johansson, Jim Henson, Sean Bean, Michael Clark Duncan, Steve Buscemi. It made $162.9 million, $126 million budget. And yeah, it received mixed reviews. It's okay. It's okay. So that's The Island. Then 2007 we had Transformers. Now this was science fiction action film series, the first installment in the Transformers film series, and it stars Shia LaBeouf, Tyrese Gibson, Josh Duhamel, Anthony Anderson, Megan Fox, Rachel Taylor, John Turturro, Jon Voight, and this movie And this movie made around 709.7 million, 150 to $200 million budget. Um, so yeah, it becoming the fifth highest grossing film of 2000. Critics praised the film for the acting sequences, visual effects, and design. LaBeouf's performance and Peter Cullen as Optimus Prime, but criticized the Transformer redesigns, the screen time for certain characters, and use of product placement. And yeah, this became a whole franchise. I like Bumblebee. I still think this is probably my second favorite in the franchise after Bumblebee, and it was good. I actually enjoyed it for what it was, and so yeah, so yeah, so yes, that's Transformers. And then 2009 we had Transformers: Revenge of the Fallen. This is a science fiction action film. The film is the second installment in the Transformers film series and the sequel to Transformers. This starred Shia LaBeouf, Megan Fox, Josh Duhamel, Tyrese Gibson, John Turturro, and made around 836.3 million on $210 million budget. It received only negative reviews, and the film surpasses price at the box office worldwide with 836.3 million, making it the fourth highest grossing film of 2009. And this movie is nowhere near as good as the first one. This one's terrible. I'm not a huge fan of this movie. I think it's probably the worst one of all time. I think it's the worst one. It's one of the worst ones. And then 2011 we had Transformers: Dark of the Moon. Now this was a science fiction action film. The film is the third installment in Transformers film series, and this starred Shia LaBeouf, Josh Duhamel, John Turturro, Tyrese Gibson, Rosie Huntington, uh, Whiteley, Patrick Dempsey, Kevin Dunn, Julie White, John Malkovich, Francis McDormand, and we won 1.124 billion, and on a $195 million budget, and this was a really good. This one was a great movie, massive improvement over the first movie, and though the film was considered a slight improvement over its predecessor among critics, was praised for the score, visual effects, cast, and performance, and use of 3D. It was criticized for the screenplay and runtime, and this one was a massive step up from the second one. I enjoyed this one. So, Dark of the Moon, I enjoyed this one. And then 2013, we had Pain and Gain. Now, this was an action comedy film. It's based on Pain and Gain by Pete Collins. This starred Mark Wahlberg, Dwayne Johnson, Anthony Mackie, Tony Shalhoub, and Ed Harris, and made around 86.2 million, $26 million budget. It received mixed reviews, with praise for its script, but criticized for the violence, directing, and historical inaccuracies. And it's fine. I enjoy it. It's okay movie by Michael Bay. So that's Pain and Gain. Then in 2014 we had Transformers: Age of Extinction. Now this was a science fiction action film. The film is the fourth installment in the Transformers film series and the sequel to Transformers: Dark of the Moon. This starred Mark Wahlberg, Stanley Tucci, Kelsey Grammer, Nicola Peltz, Jack Rayner, Sophia Miles, Bingley, Titus, Welliver, and T.J. Miller. It made 1.04 billion on a $210 million budget, and I forgot to mention, Dark of the Moon was also Michael Bay's highest grossing film. And so Age of Extinction, let's get into Age of Extinction. Now, I forgot to mention that, but it made around 1.104 billion, making it the highest grossing film of 2014. The only film in 2014 to gross over $1 billion. At that point, the 10th highest grossing film of all time, though it received only negative reviews for its runtime, and screenplay. And so this is probably one of the worst Transformers. I don't like this movie. So Age of Extinction. Then in 2016, we had 13 Hours, The Secret of Soldiers of Benghazi. Now, this was a biographical action thriller film. It's based on a 2014 book of the same name by Michael Zuckoff. It stars James Badgedale, John Krasinski, and Max Martini. It made $69.4 million, $50 million budget. It received it was the lowest grossing film until the release of Ambulance, Michael Bay's lowest grossing film until Ambulance. It received many mixed reviews from critics. One of one was praised for its acting, performance, action sequences, and doctor, and the script was criticized for its historical liberties. Bay's direction also received a mixed response, but many criticized its emphasis on over-the-top action, but some also noting it as one of his most mature and grounded films. And this one is okay. It's not my favorite Michael Bay film. I like it. I think the cast is good. So that's 13 hours. Then in 2017 we had Transformers: The Last Night. Now this was a science fiction action film, and this is the fifth installment in the Transformers films and the sequel to Transformers: Age of Extinction. This starred Mark Wahlberg, Josh Duhamel, Stanley Tucci, Anthony Hopkins. It made 605.4 million on a 270.6 million dollar budget. The film received negative from critics, and it was a box office bomb, and it lost around 100 million for both Paramount and Hasbro. A spin-off prequel titled Bumblebee was released 2018. Michael Bay did not direct that movie. Travis Knight directed that movie. He produced, I think he produced it. Yeah, he produced it. Rise of the Beast. I don't think he's involved with that. Transformers Last Night is probably one of the worst ones. It's not my favorite. Then in 2019 we had Six Underground. Now this was a vigilante action thriller film. This starred Ryan Reynolds, Melanie Laurent, Corey Hawkins, Adriana, Manuel Garcia, Rolfo, Ben Hardy, Leo Raz, Payman, Mardi, Yuri Kolotnikov, Kim Cold, and Dave Franco. And yeah, this was released on Netflix. The film was one of the most expensive Netflix originals ever made. It received generally polarizing reviews, with praise for Reynolds' performance and action sequences, but criticism for his direction and length. Netflix announced plans for a sequel, though due to the film's mixed reviews and the studio's disappointment in the film's lack of creativity, the sequel was officially cancelled. And this one's okay. It's not my favorite Michael Bay movie. And then finally in 2022 we had Ambulance. Now this was a heist action thriller film, and it's a remake of the 2005 Danish film with the same name, and by Lotus Munch Peterson. And this movie starred Jake Gyllenhaal, Yahya Abdul-Manti II, Isaac Gonzalez, and they made around 52.3 million on a $3 million budget, and making it I think this was Michael Bay's lowest grossing film. The film underperformed in the box office. While the story and acting drew some polarizing response, the film received praise for Bay's direction and action sequences. Now, I actually saw this in the cinema when it came out. I enjoyed it. I loved the trailers, so I decided to check out the cinemas, and I enjoyed it. I loved it. So that is I don't know what Michael Bay is gonna do next. I don't know if we don't like Michael Bay. I really like him or hate him. I like some of his movies. He's done some bad movies, done some good movies. He done forgettable movies. So that's it. That's supposed to about Michael Bay. That's so much my videos for my next video. Bye.